Live well now with Dr. Lauren.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live Well Now. My name is Dr. Lauren Powell, board certified family medicine physician, here to give you tools in your toolbox so that you can live well now. Because living well now determines how you're going to live later. And I know you have things that you want to accomplish. I have things that I want to accomplish. I have people I want to serve. I have missions I want to go on. I have trips I want to go on. I have people and family I want to meet. I want to play with my future grandchildren. And so, in order to do that, and in order to be in a level of health that will allow me to do the things my heart desires to do in my future, there's some things we have to take care of now. And one of those things is making sure that we eat really, really well. Today, I'm going to focus on a breakfast dish. I do a lot of breakfast dishes, I'm thinking now that I'm reflecting on. And that's because I feel like people do breakfast so wrong. They either skip breakfast, which sometimes people are doing because they're fasting, and that's okay. But sometimes people are doing it just because they're busy and they're running out of the house. And then what happens is they don't make the best decisions for lunch. I feel like breakfast, it can be an opportunity where we get just like a lot of protein, we get some quality fats, we can just get like a really, really quality meal. Sometimes we tend to load it carb heavy. This morning, my child asked for waffles and oatmeal, right? That's like a very carb heavy breakfast. And so there's things that we can eat that make it not carb heavy and that really make it very nutritious, delicious, and full of protein. So today I want to make a dish that is really fun to make. I'm going to make a mini version of it. So for my measurements, I just want you to double it if you're making it like for a group of people. I was had a meeting, a retreat that was kind of in South Georgia, and it was 5 of us, and one of the people is gluten-free. And so I don't want to always make something like, okay, this is your gluten-free, this, and this is everybody else's, right? So what's one thing that I can make that everyone, no matter their dietary restrictions, can consume? So I made a quiche that was made out of a potato. So we're gonna call it like a potato quiche. So there was no flour or breaded crust. We made the crust out of potatoes. So what we're gonna do, and usually I use larger potatoes, but I only had small ones, so all potatoes work the same. So I went ahead and roasted a couple of potatoes. I just tossed them in olive oil and sea salt, roasted them for about 40 minutes or so they're nice and soft. I have a cup of milk. I have 120 grams of cottage cheese, so about a half a cup of cottage cheese. I sauteed some ground turkey with onions and garlic. I've got some kale, and I've got a red pepper, and I have 3 eggs. And you're saying, how did you decide what vegetables to use? Listen, use whatever vegetables you have left over. I had a half a pepper left over from a salad that I made, and then I had some leftover kale. So that's what we're going to be using. You're going to need a bowl because we're going to all mix this in a bowl, and you'll just need a little salt and pepper for that. So it's going to be really easy. Again, I'm making a little one. I'm going to put it in actually my mini cast iron skillet. So we'll see how this goes. Usually, again, I make a kind of a bigger one and I put it in my big cast iron skillet. So it's 6 eggs, 1 full cup of cottage cheese, 2 cups of milk. I have some white cheddar. It has to be white cheddar. It just does something to the bite. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for success. So first, let's just take care of our potatoes. So I told you I roasted them. I'm going to put this here so you can see. I roasted them in salt and pepper, and so now they're super soft. And so what you can do is with a fork, you can just mash them. Okay, you can mash. They're going to need a little olive oil. So I'm going to sprinkle olive oil in my pan. I'm just going to mash these potatoes. They're cool, so they're not as easy to mash. That's why you want to actually, cook them well so they get nice and soft so you can mash them. Okay. You might not need all of these. But these are going to essentially form our crust, like our bottom of the quiche. Okay, we want to try to get them like the same thickness. Okay, so let's go ahead now. I'm going to put these at the bottom. Just like that. That's gonna be that. I'm just gonna do a little drizzle of olive oil on top, just so I make sure my pan is just like nice and well greased. I'm gonna move this out the way. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make our mixture. I'm gonna go ahead and put in our 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3. Very good. I'm gonna put in my milk. I'm going to put in my cottage cheese. I'm going to grab my salt and pepper while I was over there. So here's our cottage cheese. It's going to add some great flavor. It's also going to add tons of extra protein. So we've already got great protein with the eggs. Now we've also got good protein with our cottage cheese. Okay. So now I'm just going to do a little black pepper. And some salt. Very good. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with my hand mixer, hand blender, and emulsifier. There we go. You see how nice and smooth everything is? I'm just going to take this off. This in the sink. Okay. Now we can go ahead and just put everything else in here. So I've got the cheese. Again, white cheddar. I've got my ground turkey. Onions and garlic. That's nice. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll move that stuff again. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll keep this here. Chop my red pepper. I try and just have 3 colors if I can in my dish because I just think it looks definitely more appealing that everything's the same color. So using red peppers instead of yellow. I have green from, you could use spinach, you could use broccoli, you could use asparagus, that would be good. This is a good dish that actually freezes well. I've made this before and then froze it. Okay, got our peppers. Very good, very good. My kale has already been washed. I'm just going to rip it. Just like that. All right. So it's going to be enough here. Look how nutritious. This is way better than donuts or bagels with cream cheese. Okay, now let's kind of mix it all together here. And then we'll just be ready to pour it in. So again, usually I make a bigger one. So we'll see how this one fits. Preheat your oven to anywhere between 375 should be good. I'm going to cook this for about 30 minutes. Generally, when I make my big one, I do have to cook it for almost an hour because it's in like a big flat pan. So let's see how this goes. Oh, this looks good. We have lots of topping, it's okay. Trying to make sure we have things nice and even in here. Looks good, huh? Alrighty. Now she's going in the oven. I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes and see how she's doing at 30 minutes. It's perfect. That looks pretty perfect. So you can definitely let it cool a little bit, and then we'll be able to cut right in half. That kale is nice and crunchy. That's how I like my kale. We've got the bubbliness of cheese. Just perfect.